I shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, Hashem qadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great men, so that surely do well. A citation, teacher, and everyone of the Yakin, the precious gospel out in sincerity and truth. Brother Lamad, once again from GMS Shinadad, coming to do a quick, lesson in the Hebrew, right? This is on Psalms 23 and verse 4, right? And our brother he was asking about if it have anything in basically like the Hebrew booklet or anything concerning Psalms 23. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. But basically I say I'll just do verse 4 for tonight, right? And to skim through the whole thing to try to basically understand it. Alright, but as I say, just a rough quick thing in the Hebrew here. Okay, this is Psalms 23 and verse 4. It says here in the Hebrew, this here is gam, right? Gam, which means ye or also. All right. Gam kaya alak, right? Ye or also for I walk. Bagaya in valley. Ba, right in front of the word, means in. All right. Gaya is valley. All right. So gam kaya alak, right? Now Salakia, alak in front of certain words in the Hebrew, like in this case here, all right, as a prefix is I or I am, right? I or I am. Lak, right? This is lak. It would obviously will have like what we call a connector somewhere here, right? But what they do in Hebrew, they would understand, right? Because as I keep on saying, Hebrew is not word for thought, right? Lak, or sometimes when you're reading you might see halak or yalak, right? Lak is go. In this case, alak means to I go or walk, right? So lak means go or to walk, right? So alak, I walk, right? So as I was saying here now, ba, right, is in. Sometimes in word now you have to understand, you just have to get the root word first. Okay, so when you're reading Hebrew, this is one of the things that I start to look for: the root words, the suffix, and the prefix. All right. So what I do, I have on top of my phone the parallel Hebrew to Greek, parallel Hebrew and Greek Bible. To have a next one, but that is in full Yiddish. I really and truly don't like Yiddish, as I say, now kind of getting the hang of it, right? So ba gaya a, right? Ba is in and gaya a is valley. Okay. Tazalamawat, right? Tazalamawat. Tazal, right, means a shade or shadow. Shade or shadow. Mawat, as we know, as we say Mawat Babal. Mawath, Mawath, Mawath is death or kill. All right, death or kill. So shade or shadow or kill, or shade or shadow of death. All right, there's two other words for death. Well, it have Mawat, it have harag. Both is translated as death and to kill, right, most times. Okay, so like to understand in Exodus 20, right, when the law said thou shalt not kill, the word there is tha'a ratzak, right, which means to murder. There's a difference between kill or murder, because that is one of the contradictions that people use. They use it as a contradiction in the Hebrew, because we all know the Pentateuch or the Tanakh, right, or the Torah was written in Hebrew, right? Big brother Makazar most will tell you, well, he more understand with the Masoretic text and the Septuagint and everything like that. All right, but it was written in the Hebrew. So ratazak means to murder, and when you look up the word murder, it means to take an innocent life, right? So the Lord never said don't kill, because he said if a man be found lying with the next one, his blood shall be upon his own head, right? You should put them to death. So this is one of the importance of going into Hebrew, right? So mawat and harag means to kill. So the Lord never say thala harag or thala mawat. He said thala or la tha ratazak, which means to murder. All right, so this here is a shade of death or shadow of death. Okay, la no or not, la no not, right? Here we have again, sometimes you will see this in certain bigger brothers. This is called a separator, right? So you could understand more. Salak, I make a little mistake there, right? But if you catch the point, right, which separates, so you could understand this here is the prefix, right, which is I, right, I, right? So you see, yara, 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 right? So this here is fear, right? No, not I fear, right, right, right? This is evil, right? Evil. Now there in some cases you will see this as friend, but there's a difference within the pronunciation, right? It has that, right? Sometimes when you're going into certain Hebrew words, I will see if I could see it again to concrete what I'm saying. All right, but this here, right, this here equals right, which equals evil. Feeling weird doing this, Salak. And then it have some points. Now when you really get to study Hebrew in certain things, is really like these our forefathers had to be really right intellectual, right? Because it have certain texts that you might read, you won't see they have separators and connectors. If I'm not mistaken, from what I've learned, they said that high priest Area would have been the one coming up with the connectors, okay, and the separators. All right, so I've just put in a separator here so you could understand, right? Because we understand that this here, right, goes back to the Hebrew rash, which equals head, right, which goes back to a head, right, which is pronounced this way in the short, Rai, Ra, Salak, Ra, and not no Amun Ra, right? Shucks. So sometimes you will see this, right? Ra, 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 I, which means friend, right? Which means friend. And to imagine that it's so ironic that sometimes your friend is the ones who does do your most evil inside of this world, which really and truly is not a friend. All right, I wouldn't call them a friend, but you could say friends. It's still like for the spelling, Still like for the spelling. As I say, I'm feeling uncomfortable, kind of holding the phone and doing this at the same time. But people can understand that it's a E. They understand where I'm coming from. Is English we talking? All right, hey, friend does do your evil. All right, so yeah. So there's a difference, right? Rai evil and Ra I means friend. Our next word for friend is ak. ak, which is brother. Okay, because a friend is also your brother, right? That's supposed to actually be one of your first friend. All right, so right, evil. Okay, kaya for Arthur. We use this word every day. Arthur. All right, Arthur. You. Right, you. I mad. Okay, I mad. So here also, if I do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, shall fear no evil, for thou art. This is what the translators for thou art with me, right? But in true translation, I mad is stand or to abide. Yeah, at the end of this word here, right? I mad, which is the root. Yeah is the suffix, right? Yeah is obviously what? Me, my. Or sometimes it could say I at the end, or me or my, right? I mad, stand, abide, cause thou stand with me or abide with me, right? Shabbat ka, not Shabbath, right? Not Shabbath, because you're not seeing this character here. This means the end or sign, right? This here different. This means basket in the pictographs. Shabbat ka, Shabbat means rod, right? Ka, your or thy, right? Your rod. Wa masha ainathka, and your staff. Wa, right at the beginning, and wa is and, as most brothers will know. First, I just reiterating for the brothers who don't know. Masha ainathka, right? Your rod and your staff. Hammer they, or sometimes you'll see I more feel this is in the feminine sense, okay, because of the ha at the end. Ham is also, it also means them. All right, ham means them. In the Hebrew, ham is hot, right? Noah's son, which they translate as ham. All right, so on this ya nachamna ya, right? Ya he nachamna ya, comfort me, right? Na, sometimes what it goes back into a continuance. Now I'm not sure if it means like ing at the end of a word. Normally when you see wa between two words, that comes like ing, right? Like what I should use as example. Can't think of no examples right now. Okay, I will use I mad, right? So if in a case you see I wa mad, this come like ing, so this come like standing, right? It come like you're adding ing at the word. So instead of this is stand, it will become stand in ing, right? In that continual tense. All right, but nah, this goes back to seed, because if you look up the word ban, right? Ban, which is this ban, right? This is son. But what, when you have a son with us gone, your house does continue, and ba goes back to house, right? And na goes back to seed, right? House seed. And this, in a sense, it goes back to continue. So when you have a son, your house continues. Okay, so Hebrew is, as we keep on saying word for word, very intellectual. All right, so what I did, all right, so as we know, this is Psalms 23:4, right? So 23:4, yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So this is basically how you will say it in actual Hebrew. Also, for I walk in valley, shadow death, that was shade death. No, not I fear evil, for you stand, abide me, thy rod staff, or your rod staff, and your staff, right? They he comfort me. Alright. So I put this like if anybody want to take screenshots or anything like that, right? Basically, because just to read it, right? Gam, Kaya, Alak, Bagaya, Tazalmawat, La'a, Atha, Aimadya, Shabatka, Wamasha Ainatka, Hama, Yanakamnaya. Alright, so that is it there for the night. Alright, giving all praises and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai Bashama Kadash double honors to the apostles and the elders of great men, so naturally do well. Citation, teach and everyone Akim that push this gospel out in sincerity and truth. Shalom.